You've been a champion in Strike Force. You've been a champion in UFC. What brought you to ONE FC?
What brought me to One Championship was after I retired, I got pregnant, and I just remember thinking, like, I want to be doing something more influential than what I'm doing, something bigger. Like, I've always, I guess for a long time, I had been a part of something big and influential and important. And I wanted to do something bigger and better. And I went and I asked Chaudhry, I had met him before. He's the CEO and founder of One Championship. And I said, would there be a position for me with One Championship? I'm serious about, potentially moving to Singapore. And he said, absolutely, we would love to have you.
Nice.
And I'm just like, wow, this is crazy. But, One Championship is a value-based company, which I'll tell you, I will be honest, I never in a million years would have thought that would work in a combat sports arena. I mean, you think about that and you're like, okay, it values. Talk about honor and, integrity, courage, humility. Like, these things are what is important. It's the foundation of One Championship. But I'll tell you what, the stories of these athletes, like, if you're not human if you're not moved by these stories of triumph and the way that they get through the hardships. I mean, throughout Asia, there's a lot of economically challenged, economically deprived people who come from the poorest, hardest, heartbreaking backgrounds. And you're like, fighting saved their life. It turned their whole life and their families' lives. And when One Championship gives the opportunity for these special athletes to tell their stories and to make a lot of money on a mainstream platform, it's just like, you're like, man, I don't know how I could not love this. And that's for me to be a part of something like that, as opposed to, the trash talking and the, I'm going to throw a dolly through a bus window. Aren't I cool? It's like, I don't really want to be a part of that. Like, that's not really what I got started in this sport for, So to me, that waters down the integrity of the sport. And I think One Championship is trying to do it the right way and bring it back. And they've been a huge success in Asia and even globally, but Asia's a big place. And,
Oh, yeah.
And Asia, typically they don't have sports that have started there, which is wild. So you think about here, we have the NBA, we have the NFL, we have we have baseball, we have all these great sports, and we're very heavily affiliated with that. But Asia, they love sports, but they have none that are their own. Right? They're busy taking on like our sports and following basketball and stuff like that. But martial arts is something that's rooted. It's their greatest cultural treasure. I mean, it's like in schools, like we had wrestling in my school, but we didn't have jiu-jitsu. We didn't have karate. We didn't have any of that stuff. That's all extracurricular if your parents could afford to send you. But in Asia, I mean, it's like everybody grows up doing martial arts. So they relate to it and they learn values. But why do you put your kids in karate? Why do you because you want them to learn discipline. You want them to learn the values, humility, how to defend themselves, sure, but only right time, right place. We want them to learn those things. So I feel like in Asia, it's just rooted in their cultural belief that that's kind of how you should view martial arts. And I mean, our 100th event garnered 80 million viewers.
Whoa.
80 million. So, I mean, that's
Wow.
Globally, people are attracted to that, and they do have some space in their hearts for these crazy stories. It's just like, it's like the Rocky Balboa story all the time, and you're just like, my God, I love these athletes. I just, win or lose, it's not so valued on winning or losing because it's not about trash talking and tearing people down. You don't lose credibility if you lose because people love you anyways. You're working so hard for something and you've gotten so far that it inspires people, right, to take defeat in life, I think, and translate that. Again, what we were just talking about, failure, right? These athletes are role models. They're heroes. They're just incredible people with incredible stories doing incredible things that I guarantee when they get to the point of retiring, they'll look back and say, I had no idea that I was making the impact, just like myself, but we have a chance to influence people in a good way or a bad way. And I think One Championship, I know, I'm a part of One Championship, that we're just trying to influence people in a good way. We're trying to, inspire people to be the best version of themselves, to children to have positive role models to look up to, say, I want to be like that. And for parents to be proud of those people being role models, those heroes, local heroes that have turned their life around and did the absolute impossible, that parents can feel good about their children looking up to these athletes.
Hey guys, thanks for watching this week's episode. We hope you really enjoyed it. If you love the people and stories of the Puget Sound, please support this podcast by reviewing us and rating us on Apple Podcasts. Stay tuned next week as we continue to curate the underground.